Hello, I'm that casual gaming guy, and welcome to another episode of Tall Oaks Zoo. So, this is the second part of our three-part zoo entrance build, and today we're going to be working on the East Asia, South Asia building and the Americas building. So basically, here's what's happening. As you can see from the episode before, in this episode, the path splits into three. I'm going to split the zoo into kind of three sections where we have East and South Asia, the Americas, and Africa. So I wanted the kind of shell of the entrance, the building, to be actually, well, originally it was three separate buildings, and now it's kind of four separate buildings and stuff. So that way I could theme them kind of to the style and stuff. So right now you've got me building the East Asia section of this side, and then from the path and on will be the South Asia, Indian style, and then the Americas will have the more modern New World style, and then of course Africa building will be in the Africa theming. So on this build, I kind of edited out a lot. So you'll see me put the base building down. I'll start to decorate, and I'll decorate the first floor, and then it'll go into the last little bit of decorating the top. I did this for time. These videos were getting a little long just to be building these buildings. And once it's done, you can kind of see the ending there. I did do some things off camera, I believe, but you'll see that in the live play, which will be at the end of the next episode. So yeah, basically what these buildings also do is help hide the staff path. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. Now, one of the things that happens off camera after all this is this building and the Africa building wind up being too tall. And it's just this big, more kind of theme park. I mean, the whole build, the whole section here is kind of theme parky, but it was just way too tall. So I wound up actually knocking off, I think, 2 whole floors of this building and the Africa building, and it actually winds up being at the same level as the Americas building, which is in the center, because that one I couldn't do much with as far as height, whereas this one I could have towering turrets and all that stuff. But so while I am happy with how the tall buildings turned out, especially the window detailing on the South Asian side, it needed to be different. So yeah, I'm very, very happy though with how it ends up, and you'll see that coming up at the next episode in the live play. You'll see all the changes and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. One of the issues that I kind of ran into, and I think I handled decently, is how this trim is going into the arches. It doesn't really work. It shouldn't work, but I think I had a nice fix for it, I guess you could say. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what that black and yellow stuff is off to the side here. That is actually a font made by Ricey. Ricey does a lot of fonts for this game, because really you only get the one, Planet Zoo signage, the font thing, and then you have editable signs that you can put text on, but that's not good enough for some things. So I downloaded a couple of Ricey fonts to do some of the signage, and yeah, you'll see a little bit of that coming up. Alrighty, so now we're putting on the finishing touches to the East Asia side of the building. And if it lagged a little, I apologize. What happened was that I forgot about a doctor's appointment that I had over the phone. And so she called while I was in the middle of building. And so I kind of had to, answer. So I actually left the recording running for a while. I did edit that part out, but there was still some parts of it where it was lagging, where I answered the phone, and then I quickly saved and then realized, oh, I'm still recording halfway through my appointment and stuff. So yeah, so that's why there might have been a little bit of a lag. Alrighty, so we're doing the interior here of this section of the building that the staff get to walk through. And I wanted to just make it look nice for the staff, and if anybody did peek in, they would see something not, industrial-like, clean and all sterilized kind of looking. It fits the theme that they're walking through and stuff, so if they do look in, they can see, okay, that it doesn't ruin it. So now that we have all that done, the East Asia side is done, it's time to work on the South Asia / Indian side of this. And I had a lot of fun doing this. I really did. It was my first time working with this theme, so I got to play around with some of the facades and stuff, and making these pillars was just so much fun. Alrighty, so here we are. We're going to finish up the rest of the East Asia, South Asia building. And of course, as I said earlier, these top 2 floors get knocked off, even though these windows are just exquisite and stuff. But I will definitely have to do some more buildings and use these windows in them at a later date. Alrighty, so one of the things that I completely spaced on was hitting the record button when I started my building. So Unfortunately, we're a little late to the game here, but as you can see, I used a lot of the modern stuff, and I think this building actually, height-wise and everything else, just works out a lot better. Now, I found these etched glass things to just be wonderful. I wanted to put them here on the glass, but it just didn't look right. So I went ahead with these aluminum kind of overlays or metal overlays, and I just love how they turned out. With the opaque glass walls and then trying to use these etchings on them, I just knew that it needed something behind it. Now, I could have very easily put the aluminum behind them as I started to, but I didn't like it, and then so I changed the color of the glass, of course, and then it just worked perfectly, just having that little bit of contrast. And then with the lighting I do here in a little bit, I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. And then I started thinking, well, I don't really have animals on the other buildings. And then I thought, wait a minute, yes I do. I have those elephant reliefs on the side of the South Asian building. So that works out. Now I wanted to light up the interior somehow, and I just couldn't figure it out. And then I remembered that when I did that, as far as, when I turned all the lights over to light the etched glass, it made this really cool effect in the space below. So I went ahead and just did that. I'm a little bit in love with these glass awnings. They don't make much sense as far as shade and stuff, because they are glass, unless they're tinted glass or anything like that, but they don't really look all that tinted. But I love the look. I love the look of this building. Like I said, I know I'm feeling myself over here. No, I just absolutely love these builds. They've turned out so wonderful. And then I knew I had to put these in. For those of you that know me in the real world, and those of you that don't, you're about to learn something. I am a Disney freak. Love Disney, love the movies, love the parks. Everything, the channel, everything. Sort of the channel. That's another story. But these fences just look like upside down Mickey Mouse heads. So I had to put them in. Had to. And now we're working on the interior here. And I had a couple of ideas that I thought, these archway type things. But those are just really big. So I just use these panels here as a facade, and I love it. And the fence as a facade, I just blew my mind thinking of it. Like, I don't normally think of some of this stuff, and now I'm starting to really, get into it, I guess you could say. I was into it before, but now I'm just really detailed. What can I do here? What can I put here? And while, yes, it does still look a little, I don't know, would you call it rudimentary? as far as comparison to other YouTubers and designers and stuff out there and stuff that's in the workshop. But man, I'm really happy with how this all turned out. And thus brings us to the end of this episode. So I hope you liked it, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you're new. I'm That Casual Gaming Guy, and I hope you had a wonderful day. Bye-bye.